Hi Mermaid Junkies, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so this video is about first of all, what is anxiety, stress, and guilt? Now, they're all different separate emotions, right? But a lot of times we can clump most emotions into one sense of feeling, which basically those feelings are emotions of us not being in alignment. And being in alignment means when you are in alignment with your vortex, which is God or source, our inner being. You know, because we're made up mostly of spirit living a physical life, right? So we're more godlike than we are human. People think that that's kind of weird, but I mean, there's been beautiful, beautiful poetry and things written from geniuses throughout the centuries of saying that, you know, we really are spiritual beings living a physical life. So basically what stress, anxiety, and emotions are is it is us not getting in alignment with our true inner self. Let me give an example. Maybe that will help. So anxiety is sort of like, you know, I never had anxiety before until probably 2009. I had never known what it was even, because I was just like, what anxiety attacks? I don't get it. Like, I had one friend that she'd have anxiety attacks, like, you know, 20 of them in a day sometimes, and I never could understand that. But now that I had them myself and realized, you know, where I was mentally in that particular experience in my life, it's basically your body's protecting you. Basically what anxiety and stress and all of these things are is that you're living life fully. Basically what these emotions are is that we have expanded in our life, but we aren't willing to go there, if that makes any sense. A lot of times when you'll have these feelings, say for instance I have these feelings of stress, and I'm saying I'm stressed out, right? Well, what that actually is within us is us having an emotion. We are feeling a certain thing, but our inner guidance system, our inner being, source, our vortex, you know, God, is looking at this same emotion, but in contrast to how we think that it actually is. Because, you know, I mean, think about it. I heard something. I'm like, no. But anyway, so basically what it is source, universe, would never feel stressed out because there's such an extreme sense of trust within. And so basically what that's saying to us is God isn't stressed out. God never stresses out. He is completely knows the power within himself, and we exude and have that same power within us. But so many times we deviate from our true inner being, our true inner self. And so when you do that, you're going to have those feelings and emotions of stress and anxiety and guilt. And basically what guilt is too is you knowing that you should do something and you should expand. Like but you haven't, you refuse to go there, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'll give you an example. And I said I wasn't going to use my past experiences as, you know, all the time speaking of that. But that's the only way that sometimes you can teach is through your experience. You don't learn from hearing things, you learn from personal life experience. So that's the only way that I can share this. I swear I keep hearing something. Anyway, so in my previous marriage, I had been feeling very much like I had expanded past this particular relationship. But I wasn't going there. So see what I'm saying is in my my vortex, I had expanded so much. I had grown so much and had so much growth. But because of guilt and me feeling bad and you know, all of these negative emotions, I wasn't going and expanding fully to where I was mentally. And so what happens is you start to have all of these emotions and feelings that don't coincide with who you really know that you really, really are deep within your soul. And so you can chalk it up to that. I mean, it's not always a bad thing either, you guys, when we have these contrasting events happen in our lives. You're like, oh, well, I want to go through life and never have any problems or never. And the thing is once you learn about law of attraction and you have this sense of huge trust and sense of belief and powerful sense of knowing of who you are as a person, it's almost like you're untouchable. Your feelings are untouchable. You become so a sense of so much power within you. And it's because that when you love yourself, you see yourself through source. You see yourself through your inner being, which is God. You see yourself the way that God sees you. And you begin ultimately to see other people the same way that God sees you. And that is what true unconditional love is that when you can see yourself as this beautiful, powerful creator, and you don't have any reason to feel guilty or shame or fear or stress or anxiety. Now, we're humans, so of course we're always going to have those particular things, but you can always navigate through those things very, very promptly when you live the law of attraction, because it's all sorry about my outfit. I just finished my jog, so I stopped here and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do a video short. But anyway, guys, I think you don't care about that. So it's the message, right? Where I ended off with that. But I think that was the whole thing of realizing what stress is, especially with the holidays coming around. Like, everybody uses these words like rolls off the tongue, you know, and I think when you start to practice the law of attraction as well, you start to realize everything that you say, you know, and everything that you don't say really has a huge impact on your psyche, on your ability to stay within alignment, which is being in alignment means being in connection, direct connection with God. So that when you're seeing things and you're seeing the world as God would see them, you don't see all of this. I mean, God isn't looking down and saying, you know, oh, the country should be stressed out, and, you know, I mean, oh my goodness, we have Trump for a president, you know, or whatever. And I said I wasn't going to do like politics or whatever, but I'm just trying to give the example that source, you're never going to get source to have a negative feeling about any human beings. Are never going to have that sense of, you're not going to be validated. Like, no, God's not going to come to my side and go, Raquel, you're so right. That woman is atrocious. You're never going to have source, God, do that. So he's never going to come down to our level. We will always have to rise to alignment with him, if that makes any kind of sense. So when people say stress and people talk about stress, that is what it is. It's a sense of you not having faith and not having that sense of inner peace within yourself. Because when you have that sense of being in alignment with God or source, you never stress about what's happening. You see everything beautiful. Everything is going on blissfully. The world is not in trouble. Everything is expanding, expanding, expanding. And so that's a huge, hard concept for many people that have been conditioned into the way of life of normality. Because it's normal for any person, mostly on the street, that you see, they're going to not agree with me. They're going to think I am off my rocker, you know, and that's completely fine too, because I love you for thinking I'm off my rocker. It has no no value whatsoever. I love you enough for both of us. And when people disagree with me, or people disagree about the politics and disagree about, or well, you have this particular opinion or whatever, it's because you don't trust within yourself what and who you really are. You are a product of Source, of God. And you're not in alignment with that, so you're completely disconnected from your real inner being. And I don't know if any of this might even sound like just a rant or a tangent. And I hope that it didn't sound like that. That's not what I meant at all. But I was just trying to explain what stress and guilt and anxiety are. Is they're just emotions that we've attached definitions to. But it really comes down to the whole fact that we aren't in alignment with Source, with our inner being, with God. And so when you're not in alignment, you see things as a threat. You see things as detrimental. You see things fearful and sad, and I have to stress out. But stressing out means that you're not trusting your inner guidance system. It means that you're not trusting you, for one thing, and it also means that you're not trusting Source. You're not trusting God. And so I try not to use God, and the only reason that I don't is because so many people have labels attached to what they think God is, if that makes any kind of sense. And I'm speaking that way mostly because of a religious factor. But you can say, oh, well, Raquel doesn't talk about God, but that really is all I talk about. Like, always being in alignment with God. Like, I love God. I mean, it's a part of me, and it's extension of each of us. And so for people to say that, because I'm calling him Source, or I'm calling those consciousness, Abraham, or inner being, or Source, or in the vortex, that's somehow wrong. And that my page isn't for you, then my channel isn't for you. But the people that are here, I am so grateful for you, and I so appreciate talking to you, and I hope that you continue to stick around, swim around, wade around. I hope this served you, and if you have any questions, if I wasn't clear on some things, because you know how I can kind of ramble, and I do sometimes get off on these different little things and stuff, but I feel like the message is there behind all of my little idiosyncrasies. But anyway, like I said, I hope this served you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I love you very much, and I hope that you have the rest of a beautiful weekend. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao!